The Amazing Digital Circus episode 5 came out a few weeks ago, and of course one of the first things people were wondering is if episode 6 would take anywhere near as long to come out. But fortunately that doesn't seem to be the case, and I'll explain why. But of course, as always, if you're new here and enjoy news, theories, and speculation about all things Glitch, please consider liking the video and subscribing to help this channel reach our new goal of 30,000 subscribers. We're getting closer every single day, so I know with your support, it will be more than possible. The Amazing Digital Circus episode 5 notoriously took 6 months to come out, leaving some fans a bit impatient, which I do find a bit silly. Like, they're an indie studio at the end of the day working on multiple shows at once. Let them cook. But yeah, it did take a bit longer than normal, which is understandable. Episodes 3 and 4 were actually animated at the same time, explaining why the gap between the two were so short. That wasn't the case with episode 5 at all. However, when it comes to episode 6, we actually have some insight from Gooseworx herself, indicating that it may not be too far off after all. Recently, a YouTuber known as Jobby the Hong had Gooseworx on as a guest during his drawing livestream, where she was asked what the ETA was looking like for the next Digital Circus episode, and this is what she had to say.
No pressure, but do you have like an ETA for the next one?
Not as long as the last one. Hopefully.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it should not be over 4 months. If it is something when we're building.
So within the year.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The episode shouldn't take longer than 4 months to come out, and will in fact be released before the end of the year. To some of you, 4 months may still sound like a ways off, but in reality, it really isn't that long at all, at least in comparison to the wait for episode 5. Remember though, while this is all coming directly from Gooseworx, this is still likely an estimate for when she thinks the episode will be released. Unpredictable things can happen during the production of any show, which is actually something she briefly touches upon in this clip.
It should not be over 4 months, if it is something when we're building.
So there's always the chance that it ends up taking a bit longer. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, the episode might actually end up taking less time to come out. The latter might just be cope though. Regardless, the episode should definitely come out no later than October or November, which I think would be a good time to release it. Possibly around Halloween, which would be around 1 year since episode 3 came out. Glitch did also say that a lot more Digital Circus content was coming soon. So I think it's pretty safe to say that we're not going to be short of Digital Circus content anytime soon. That actually makes a ton of sense because during the same discussion in the livestream, Gooseworx confirmed the same thing that happened with episodes 3 and 4 is happening with episodes 5, 6, and 7. Meaning that they're all going to be animated and worked on at the same time, or roughly the same time.
Because we work on like multiple of them at the same time.
I see.
Like kind of what happened with 3 and 4 we're doing with 5, 6, and 7.
This means that the gap between the next 2 episodes could be significantly less. It should be noted that this seems to not be happening with the final 2 episodes, meaning that we may have to wait a while for those to come out. I'm fine with waiting though, as I'm sure the last 2 episodes are very ambitious, so I want them to take their time. This actually reminds me of another Glitch show that I'm sure you're all too familiar with, Murder Drones. Murder Drones would typically release every 2 to 3 months, but once episode 6 came out, we had to wait 7 months for episode 7 to release, along with another 5 months for the finale. This was all due to production delays and just how ambitious the final 2 episodes were. Although I wish nothing but the best for the show's production, I'm just having you all set your expectations as delays are always possible, as unfortunate as it may be. with the next 4 episodes likely being very ambitious, especially due to Gooseworx referring to episode 5 as the silly before the storm. This also means that we're probably about to head into the more lore-heavy side of things. Up until now, the episodes have had a pretty similar structure. The gang goes on an adventure, they have some existential dread built up, then they come back from the adventure, you know. Obviously, that's putting it very simply. But I feel like episode 6 through 9 are going to break away and go more into the nitty-gritty of the lore, uncovering the true past of these characters and what is going on with Kane. And you know, I feel like there is a lot going on. I'd also like to point out that besides the pilot, episode 5 is currently the only episode that includes a proper cliffhanger, with Jack showing Pomni something in the hallway and this suspicious mannequin peeking around the corner. I wouldn't be surprised if rather than the next episode beginning from a new day like the previous episodes, we pick up right from where we left off. That would be a big indicator that Gooseworx is starting to take a very different approach with the series. I also wonder if the bigger focus on lore rather than the adventures will affect the episode runtimes. Normally an episode is around 25 minutes long, but Gooseworx did previously confirm a while back that at the very least we should be getting one episode that's longer than the others. I personally still think it's one of the last 2 episodes that just makes the most sense to me. Funny how this video was meant to only discuss episode 6 and then, you know, as per usual, I end up talking about the rest of the series. But yeah, a very brief video. I just really wanted to talk about what Gooseworx said during that live stream. I've gotten several comments about it already, so I felt like I should at the very least get a short video out there to let you all know that you may not have to wait too much longer after all. Anyway, what do you think about this news, and what do you want to see from episode 6 onward? What kind of direction do you think the series is going to head in going forward? I would love to know your thoughts. But yeah, be sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, as well as be sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all my content. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until next time guys, this is Inferno signing off.